Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture. In this lecture, we are going to study about the environmental studies. Okay, so this lecture is going to be a very interesting lecture and you will learn more about your surroundings and the environment in which you are living in. Okay, so let's start the session. Okay, so first question which should come in our mind is that what do you mean by environment? What do you mean by environment? And then what do you mean by environmental studies as a collective word? First word is your environment, and then the another term is environmental studies. So basically, this is the question which should come in our mind first so that we will be able to learn the concept in this lecture smoothly and effectively. Okay. So first of all, if I ask you like, okay, answer me, what do you mean by environment? Then what should be your answer? How will you able to define that environment is this thing? Okay. Is there any simple definition of environment? Is there any basic and only one definition of environment? And what is the exact meaning of environment? And what if we are using the term environment in different contexts, but it means in the different context? Okay. So these are the questions which should come in our mind if we really want to understand what about the environmental studies. Okay. So let's first start with the very basic question. Very basic question is environment. Okay, just suppose, just take an example. There are two people, this one and this one. Okay, in this scenario, this one is me. I'm your teacher right now. And in this scenario, this one is you. You are a student. Okay, suppose we met and we started talking. And then I ask you, okay, tell me, Mr. XYZ, what do you mean by environment? Then what should be your answer? Then you should answer, oh, sir, you are asking for environment? You are asking for environment. Then environment basically means surroundings. That should be your answer. In a very simple term, if someone asks you, what do you mean by environment? Just answer your surroundings. Whatever your surroundings you're living in is environment. Is environment. Okay. If we have understood the environment, like, okay, whatever I'm seeing around myself, whatever I am too is a part of environment. Okay. Now, what do you mean by environmental studies? It simply means study the environment. If I ask you another question, okay, tell me about what do you mean by the environmental studies? Okay. Then what should be your answer? Study of environment. Okay, this should be your answer. Like if you are going to study about the surroundings in which you are right now, then it is your environmental studies. Okay, or we can say the environmental studies explore the relationship between humans, what we are, and the environment, whatever the things we have surrounded by. It covers topics such as conservation, pollution, biodiversity, climate change, and sustainable development. Okay, so these are the basic topics which will be covered in this lecture, starting with the conservation, then pollution, then biodiversity, then climate change, and in the end, sustainable development. Got it? So to understand these factors, let's move forward. Now, again, the environmental studies is an interdisciplinary field that examines interaction between environment and human society. So there is one term which we have found. Its term is interdisciplinary field. What do you mean by it? Okay, to understand these things, we first understand what is the meaning of disciplinary. What is the meaning of disciplinary? What is inter in it? Okay, and what does meaning by interdisciplinary as whole? Okay, so these are the questions in this scenario. Okay, so first of all is a disciplinary. Disciplinary simply means discipline. Okay, and in this scenario I'm not talking about the discipline that you should be like how you should look, how do you act, how do you think. This is apart from a discipline. In this text, discipline basically here means subject or topic to study. Okay, so basically if we are talking about certain or particular subject and topic which is wide, which comprise several things, then it is also termed as discipline. Okay, like for example, geography discipline, okay, similarly physics discipline. Okay, like the example. Got it? So students, here we have got a meaning of discipline. Now come to the next one, which is the inter. Okay, basically to understand the inter, you should start understanding the inter and intra first. Inter and intra first. Okay, so just tell me, in your school times, even if you have participated in the sports and games, then you must have understood the concept of intra-state and interstate competitions. You must have understood the difference between them if you ever played in sports and took part in sports. Okay, but if not, then let me conclude it for you. Basically, if you're talking about the intrastate, then it means stadiums within the state. Or you can say, just take an example, that if there are state 1, okay, which having stadiums like this one, A, B, C, D, okay, this various stadiums are there. When these stadiums are playing amongst themselves or are competing amongst themselves, then it is a part of intrastate. Okay, but in this scenario, if there is state 2 with A, B, C and D stadiums, now the stadiums of A competing with the stadiums of 1 competing with the stadiums of 2, then in this scenario, this is a part of interstate. Got it? Similarly, when you are talking about the things which are kept within the same object, then you are talking about the intra. But when you are talking about the things which are kept in a different objects and which belong to different objects, then it is the inter. Got it? So basically, after understanding the facts of inter and the discipline, now come to the interdisciplinary field. Okay, so basically environmental studies, because it's comprise all the surroundings you having around yourself, so that's why it a interdisciplinary field. And how? Let me include it. Just suppose surroundings around yourself are television, mobile, table, water, okay, maybe your brother, your sister, your mother, father, whomsoever you having around yourself, whatever you have having around yourself. Okay, just take an example. Now just tell me, what are of those belong to the biotic and abiotic? I had told you in the previous lecture, like what do you mean by the biotic factors, what do you mean by abiotic factors, or we had concluded that abiotic, aquatic and non-aquatic. Okay, I hope you have remembered it. Okay, so just tell me, if I have given you these things which you are having in your surroundings, okay, just tell me whatever about them is a part of biotic and the abiotic. Just think and just tell me. I will count for 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19th and 20th. Okay. So if you have concluded it, very good. Now just match your answer. So for biotic, which stand for the living beings. So here the answer is your sister, your brother, your father, and your mother. Okay, so these all are a part of biotic. Okay, because the biotic stands for the living beings. Okay, whereas your television, your mobile, your table, your water. Okay, all these factors are a part of an abiotic because they are non-living. Okay, so in this scenario, because we are study about only the environments, but these things which you are having your environments are belong to the different groups. Okay, so you have to understood the different disciplines to understand the environmental studies. That's why it is called as interdisciplinary field. Okay, more example you can take that your brother, sister, mother, father, they all belong to the class of genetics, DNA, and chromosome abbreviations, whatever the things they have. Okay, where is your TV, your water? They all are of solid, liquid, gaseous states. Okay, so like in this chapter only, we have concluded the biology also, we have started the physics also, chemistry also, even biotic, abiotic in the depth. Got it? So that's why it is called as the interdisciplinary field that examines the interaction between the environment and the human society. Okay, it focuses on understanding the natural world, the impact of human activities on environment, and the sustainable management. Okay, so whatever you are doing, what it will have impact on the environment, on how you have reacted with it, is a part of an environmental studies. Got it? Now let's move forward. So now we are going to speak about the components of environment. Okay, but I would like to add one more question here to understand it better. Okay, like suppose I am asking you, what is the division of environment? It is a question number one. Question number two, what are the components of environment? Okay, so basically here are two questions which I have asked you. Then how will you answer? Okay, so if you look at them, you will find that all the things are very similar, only changes two words. In first question there is a division, in second question there is a components. Okay, like just take an example. If this is an environment, okay, then how will you say that this is the division and this is the component? It's my simple question to you. How will you answer it? How will you? So basically, just take an example. If there is a which having 1, 2, 3 parts. Okay, so if I ask you what is a division of it, like I'm asking you about the types, okay, in just scenario you can say, sir, there is a capital A, there is a small a. Okay, so there are basically two types. Okay, so in two types you can define the A. Okay, but if I'm asking you what is comprised in A, then what you will say? Three things comprise in A, which is 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Right? I hope now you have understood the difference between them. When you are asking about the types, how many types, or you can say in how many types the thing could be presented, then you are talking about the division. But if I'm asking you what is comprised in the thing, in whatever part it is, then it is about the components. Got it? So now you have got an answer. Division means the types, components means the thing. Okay, so basically we could say that these both things are different from each other. Many times people get often confused in it, like the division and components are the same. But here I have tried to resolve your query that division and components are not the same thing. They all and they both are different. Okay, so if they are different, so here we have only components of the environment. What about the division? What about the types? So my friends, the environment is of three types. Okay, starting with your physical, then come your biotic and abiotic, basically biotic, not abiotic, then social and cultural. Okay, now the question which should come in our mind is that how we differentiate the things between them, like physical, biotic, and social and cultural. Okay, so basically for this, your physical environment comprised of abiotic things. Abiotic things, the things which have no life. Okay, these all are part of your physical environment, like your television, your mobile phone, your clothes, your shoes, and etc. So whatever things you having around yourself which having no life is a part of your physical environment. Okay. Similarly, what about biotic? Then we know the biotic is a living. So you can say it is about the living things. Okay. So whatever living things you have around yourself, like your pet, maybe dog and cat, whatever you have. Okay. If you don't have, doesn't matter. Then your mother, your father, your friend, okay, your sister, brother, okay, all of these things are a part of living things and are part of biotic. Got it? Now, social and cultural environment. What do you mean by it? It's a typical term. Basically, it stands for the human society. It stands for the human society. Okay. If we go back to the starting, then we will find that environmental studies, it is a basic and the first definition which we had discussed. Okay, so listen carefully. Environmental studies explore the relationship between humans and the environment. Okay, this was the first line which we had learned in the terms of environmental studies definition. Okay, starting with this, when we move forward, and now we are talking about social and cultural, and then I say that it's a part of human society. So I think you must be clearer in your mind that why I am saying this. Because if you look at the human class and look at the human beings, okay, which are a part of which I had told you many times, and I want you to know the answer. Okay, and I hope that you know the answer. So today the human beings are a part of Homo sapiens Cro-Magnon, right? Homo sapiens Cro-Magnon. That was a part of human society. Okay. So if we look at the human beings, then we all know that we are the social and cultural organized people. Okay. We having some laws, we having some rules, which are the part of our social and cultural things. Okay. And here, remember one thing also. There was a person whose name was Aristotle. Okay. He said human is a social animal. Okay. So you must have listened this term that human is a social animal. We are the social persons who live in the society, who want the society. Okay. Then for who was the first person who first coined the term of human society and called humans as a social animal? Then the answer was Aristotle. Got it? So basically you can say the social and cultural environment stands for all the things which comes inside your social and cultural sphere in which you are living in. Okay. So these are the divisions and the components of environment. No, these are the only division, because I have told you that divisions and components are different thing. So these are the divisions of environment. Got it? So here we have finished about the divisions. Now come to the components. Okay. Come to the components part. So basically the environment having four components. The environment having 4 components starting with your lithosphere, then hydrosphere, then atmosphere, then biosphere. Okay, so these are the components of the environment. So starting with the lithosphere. Okay, so basically lithosphere in simple terms stand for the solid outermost layer of the earth, which includes rocks, soils and minerals. Okay, in general term, this is the lithosphere. Now the question is the solid outermost layer of the earth. Okay, we know that earth is a spherical shape. Earth is a spherical shape object. Then what about the layer? And the layer which we talking about is the outermost layer. Then there must be other layers also. Okay, so what are these layers? Why we call them layers? Okay, so let's understand the concept of this. Okay, so here let me make 2 points. Then we will try to make a circle. Okay, all right, circle. Okay, so basically this is a division of earth, and you can say the vertical division of earth. Okay, so this part which seems like the nucleus, it's basically the core of earth. Basically the core of earth. The part which we are seeing above the core is known as the mantle, and the outermost part which we are seeing is known as the crust, or you can say the lithosphere. Got it? So basically you can say the lithosphere is the outermost layer of the earth's surface. Okay, the earth which having 3 layers primarily, starting with the core of earth, then comes mantle, then comes the crust or lithosphere. So lithosphere is the outermost layer, like this. Okay, so here whatever you are seeing and whatever you having around yourself is only on the lithosphere, because you are on the lithosphere right now. Okay, if you are sitting inside your home, if you are sitting in internet cafe, if you are sitting wherever you are, all the things are above the earth's surface, and you can see on the lithosphere. Got it? So it is the first component of the environment. Okay, lithosphere, which includes rocks, soils and minerals. Okay, whatever you are seeing on the top of the earth surface, it's a part of the lithosphere. Okay, and you can say basically it is a land on the earth. Okay, so the total land part you are seeing on the earth is a part of the lithosphere. Got it? Now come to the next point. It is the hydrosphere. It is the hydrosphere. Okay, so all the water on earth's surface, including oceans, rivers, lakes and groundwater, is a part of hydrosphere. Okay, in the simple terms, but we will bifurcate it to understand the better things. First is a hydro, second one is a sphere. Got it? So basically hydro stands for water, sphere stands for layer. Okay, so the water layer on the earth surface is a part of hydrosphere. Okay, and it's including oceans, rivers, lakes and groundwater. Okay, so these all are the part of the hydrosphere, which is basically comprised life of aquatic organisms. Okay, and even you can say in aquatic organisms we having 2 divisions. First is a fresh water, second one is a marine water. Okay, so the fresh waters are the one which are no salty, but the marine waters are the one which are the salty. Okay, so the organisms which are found the organisms which are found inside the salty water are the part of the marine water, aquatic life. The organisms which are found in non-salty water are the part of fresh waters. Got it? So this is about the division of the aquatic organisms. Got it? Now come to the division of water bodies. Okay. So basically your water bodies are also divided on two parts. First is lentic, second is lotic. Okay. So what do you mean by lentic water bodies? What do you mean by lotic water bodies? So lentics are basically the standing water. Okay. Standing water, and you can say the motionless water. Okay. Whereas lactic stands for the running water. Okay. So these are the water body division. So basically you can say your lakes, the groundwater, the ponds, the swimming pools, all these are the part of the lentic water bodies. Why I am telling this? Because in this water bodies, the water is still, the water is not flowing. Okay. But your oceans, your lakes and oceans, rivers and sea, streams, these all are the part of lactic because they are of the running water. Got it? Now come to the next part. This is the atmosphere. Basically, atmosphere is a layer of gases surrounding the earth, crucial for sustaining life and regulating climate. Okay. So basically you can say the earth part other than the lithosphere and hydrosphere is atmosphere. It is your surroundings. Basically, if you learn it, then it is the air. Okay. Air and all the things. Like if you are standing here, okay, then the entire surroundings of yourself other than the lithosphere and hydrosphere are the atmosphere. Got it? Okay. And even the atmosphere is divided into several layers, which are starting with troposphere. Okay, it is the first layer, or let me make it like this so that you could understand it better. First is troposphere. Second is stratosphere. Third is mesosphere. Fourth is thermosphere. And the fifth is exosphere. Okay. So you can say these are the layers of atmosphere starting with tropos, then stratos, then mesos, then thermos, and then exosphere. Got it? And you can say like first is your tropos. Okay. Then above tropos is stratos. Okay. Then above stratos is mesos. Okay. Then above mesos is thermos. Okay. And then above thermos is exosphere. Okay. So if you're starting with lithosphere and you trying to going upside, then first you will face the troposphere, then stratos, then mesos, then thermos, and then exosphere. Okay. So students, in this lecture, we have covered the several parts of the environmental studies. In our next lecture, we will continue the environmental studies to know the more topics and more phenomena about the environmental studies. Till then, revise the things which we have learned this lecture. Okay. So that you will be prepared to understand the things which we will be learning in our next lecture. Till then, thank you.